Welcome back to the Working Lunch, folks. I'm Jack Crumley. My name is Jack Crumley, and her name is Natalie Jones.
Hello.
She is the host of two different pieces of programming that we have here on the Crown Network. There's Nat Tries That, and then there's the Natalie Jones Show.
I know.
You're a busy gal.
You know? Yeah, I am. I guess I'm just really excited. There are a lot of opportunities here, and I love podcasting. Been doing that for a while, and I'm really excited that I get to do it here at the Crown now. And also, Nat Tries That is a really fun way to see the entire city and have a blast while doing it. Like, it's been I've had such a great time.
Yeah, so Nat Tries That, so people understand the difference in the shows that we're doing. Nat Tries That is what we just ran the promo for and what just premiered on the Crown's YouTube page at 11 o'clock this morning. Yep. That was, let me double check here, that was golf, and that was football, and that was line dancing. You're going out and just doing different stuff.
You know, let me tell you, like, the biggest goal with this is to discover things around Cincinnati that not everybody knows is happening. Like, did you know that Cincinnati has a national champion team of a professional women's tackle football team? And they're national champs. I know. And
they're the best in the country?
They are. They were national champs 2 years ago. And now they're pros. And these are women who literally play tackle football. And I dressed up in all full tackle gear and played football with them. And it was really intense. I honestly was terrified the whole time. These ladies are very, very strong.
Yeah, who was the one that you bring into the shot in the show from today? She looked like she was about 7 feet tall.
She did. She was intense. That was one that I was like, I'm not doing, no, dude. I was so scared I was going to get hurt. So it was fun.
Nat Tries That is the show where Natalie goes out and just does a bunch of different things. And then the Natalie Jones Show is a podcast that we've got where you are interviewing different folks.
Yeah.
What was that based on what you were doing before? Because for those of you who don't know, Natalie and I actually ran in very similar circles for a very long time. Natalie, you worked in radio here in Cincinnati for a number of years. Is the Natalie Jones Show interview thing based on the Person of Interest podcast you used to do?
Yeah, same but different. I have a penchant for, I really want to know what people are doing, and I feel like I'm nosy and also really curious. And there are a lot of great people happening in Cincinnati that are doing great things that not everybody knows about. So I'm taking the perspective with the Nat Jones Show is that everyone has a story to tell. And I want to put a voice and a microphone in front of the stories that people want to hear, that are entertaining, captivating, that are going to grip you in multiple different ways.
Now, I know that you've been working for literal weeks on the Nat Tries That show, going out and filming all sorts of stuff. There's a constant sort of stream with you and your photographer, Shay. You guys going out and doing a bunch of stuff. Where are we at in the planning for the Natalie Jones Show?
Similar. I mean, I have my first episode is launching tomorrow with that. Okay. And then every Wednesday until forever.
Until forever.
Yeah.
You, again, like I said, worked in radio for a very long time. You announced that you were leaving radio. I'm very impressed by this because it was December of last year. And the announcement that you were leaving was not specifically geared around the idea that you were leaving radio to get into something else. It was just, hey, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
What was that? That honestly, me describing that right now is making my stomach upset. That terrifies me of jumping off the tree, leaping out of the nest without necessarily knowing where you're going to land.
People always say that. Here's the thing, Jack. Like, you live once. So I did radio, I did the thing. My dream was always to do other stuff, TV and be on film and do all these other things. And I got to a point where I saw other opportunities and I was like, you know what? If I don't leave radio now, then I'll be here, I think, what if I wake up one day and it's, you're 52 and you haven't left yet, and what are your other options?
Sure.
Because and everybody does, sometimes when you start doing a career and you do the same thing forever, you can pigeonhole yourself, but also you can lack confidence in where you can spread your wings if you do decide to leave later in life, or you might feel trapped or whatnot. But really, at the end of the day, I feel like I kind of had a midlife crisis. My dad died a couple years ago, and then 2 years later, I was like, you know what? I won't be on radio anymore, so I'm just going to go. I hope it works out okay. And it did.
Well, I mean, it did. You're doing some really, really amazing stuff here on the Crown.
You know what? I'm just having fun. You just got to have a good time. I'm just like, my meter for everything is as long as I'm having a good time, it's worth it.
What was it like for you, doing radio for as long as you were, and the shows that you were on? I mean, you were also introducing songs and going to music too, right?
Yeah, I was on two. So I was on Q102 for 8 years, and I was on the afternoon drive, and then I also had Late Night with Nat. And Late Night with Nat was really fun because I got to play an hour of just songs that I wanted to play with zero regulations. So I would play some of the Doobie Brothers, or I would play Michael Jackson, or I would play hits from the 80s, Tears for Fears, or really indie cuts that like maybe only you and I would know.
Probably, yeah, maybe.
From the mid-90s, and that was really great. And I would tell stories along the way, and that was like really fun. I did that every day, and then did the podcasting thing on the side. You just get used to it. It's fun.
So you're talking about the late night show that you had, and I think this sort of ties into that a bit. You were the victim of a robbery when you were leaving work back in, was it 2018?
Yes.
Was that after this late night show that you're talking about where you could just sort of play whatever?
Well, that was in the beginning. When I first started on radio, I was the whole night show from like 7 to midnight.
Yeah.
And then one day I left work at 11 p.m. I forgot about this. And then I went grocery shopping, and around midnight, I was walking home. I lived on Ludlow Avenue at the time, just like right across from Habanero that used to be there, or just right across from the Esquire movie theater.
Yeah, you're in Clifton.
And I was pistol whipped and robbed at gunpoint.
I'm so sorry to hear that. What in the world were you thinking when that was going on?
To be honest, my very first reaction was, "Oh, well, you're not getting my money, dude. What are you doing?" And then you look at the guy and like he literally has a gun in your face, and I was like, "All right, well, you can take both of my dollars. I don't have very like you robbed the wrong girl, honey. You're gonna be disappointed with this."
Yeah, I have bad news for you. You targeted someone who works in radio.
Yes. No, but did that, and I don't know. That was really scary, but it ended up, it was a gang initiation thing, and those things happen sometimes.
Well, listen, that's just you've got. It seems like you have a story for everything, and I'm curious too about the idea of, you're working in radio for as long as you are, and there is a name recognition there. There's a personality. There's a show that you're doing, multiple shows that you're doing, and the idea of building a recognizable brand that people are hearing, knowing what to expect when they hear the name Natalie Jones.
Yeah.
And then again, now you've pivoted into doing a lot more of a visual medium, doing the podcast thing. How has that been for you? Is it a conscious thing where you're building a brand?
No, honestly, no. I feel like I don't know how this is still no. Honestly, no. I just always go from feeling, which I feel like I just always go from feeling. And if I feel that if it's right and if it feels like me and if it gives you that gut feeling that it's good, then I'll publish it or I'll make it or I'll do that.
Yeah.
But if I don't get that feeling and I don't have to do it for any other work obligations, as we all know in every field you got to do that, then I don't do it. So. No, honestly.
How much of that feeling are you getting doing both of these shows now here?
Oh, it's great. I get to make all the decisions and follow that feeling. So it's what, 100%. I get to do it all the day, which is like, it's so awesome. I mean, it just feels so lucky. So
talking about building a brand and finding things that people can consistently count on. You're a really fun lady. You're outgoing. You're asking questions about all sorts of stuff. And in terms of a visual brand, if we can switch over to 4 for just a second and show folks, something that a lot of people probably noticed in the promos that we've been doing for Nat Tries That is you've got some very tall sort of platform boots that are consistently
I do.
on.
I wear them every day.
We're not doing the boots today, but even still, there's a much thicker sole going on here in the footwear.
I'm always in heels at all times.
You're a pretty tall person anyway.
Not tall enough, Jack. Not
tell
tall
me about
enough.
it.
No, but I've been wearing platforms. I've been wearing platforms since I was in the 7th grade. Was when my mother let me buy my first pair from 579. Only the real OGs remember that one. From Northgate Mall. And I've been wearing them since 7th grade. If I wasn't playing sports, and still my life is the same, if I'm not doing something sporty.
There's those boots.
Look at that, like a real lady. Like a real lady in that shot. My mother's very proud. If I wasn't doing something sporty, then I was always wearing heels. That's still true.
Okay. So speaking of your mom, there is going to be, if we're teasing out some, we're teasing out some other segments of the show that are going to be coming up. Some other Nat Tries That episodes. I think this was you did an interview with your mom.
Yeah, I interviewed my mom, and it is explicit. All right, I will say that, and it was so much fun. I must say, she's a really big character, and she became a part of my existing brand. Her and I used to make videos together every day, and they were really great, and they would go viral during COVID, and it was all a thing, and she was a really big part of my just presence in general on radio in the past. And with this interview, we touch on that a lot, but it was really time for her to tell her story. And I hope that people get from this interview that if you have parents that are ailing, my mother is she's in a wheelchair and she has a terminal disease. So I felt more pressure to have a conversation like this with her. But like with your parents as they get older,
Sure.
there's certain questions you want to ask them and certain things you want to know, certain things that I think are important to say to each other before you won't be able to anymore. And I took this opportunity to do that with her on camera and also to have fun. And it's really touching. We're not crying the whole time, but we're
Right.
not hysterically laughing the whole time either. Like there's a little bit of both. And she loves it. Let me tell you, we pressed play, you couldn't get her to shut up.
What is
So
that
it was a
like? I
good
mean,
time.
really seizing that opportunity.
It was great. I feel so
to
lucky.
Do that with your mom in the scope of doing a show.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
I
feel
think we
very
do
lucky.
have some promo stuff. We can tease out some video here, I think, coming up on the Natalie Jones Show, and Nat Tries That.
Hello, my name is Natalie
yeah, there we
Jones,
go.
and welcome to the Nat Jones Show. After retiring from my 10-year radio career here in Cincinnati, I caught the bug, and I'm happy to bring it here to the Crown. I love captivating people who have captivating stories to tell. And the thing about it is, everybody has a story to tell. All you got to do is empower them to do so. That is exactly what I'm doing here. Because life is better when we all stay curious and we all stay connected.
Do you find it hard to stay curious? Boy, sometimes I just get tired. Do you get tired?
No, you know what? No, not at all. When people say I hate small talk, I'm like, I live for it.
Yeah, sure.
I really do. When I act like how are you doing today? What's going on? How are you, But I genuinely care. I'm like, yeah.
Now, for those that were watching that promo video, you had a little bit of schmutz on the side of your head for
Oh, yes.
some makeup, which I assume is going to be from a different Nat Tries That segment.
Oh no, I wear that like most. I wear that a lot of days
Was
in
that
life,
just-
and also I wear that when I DJ. Every time I do DJ on the side, and I wear that when I DJ, and just sometimes.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. You've got a history of DJing different events.
Yeah.
Calling bingo, doing stand-up.
Yeah.
There's so much about your professional life that's very performative.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you, there was a microphone involved in all of it. I
Yeah.
tried to get a real job once, and let me tell you, I was a mortgage broker for 3 months right out of college, and it was absolutely hilarious.
What in the world made you want to get into that?
I felt the pressure to get a real job.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, it was like my dad's parents got me the job. Like I didn't really, as like a kid right out of college, and I was given this opportunity, and I was like, yeah, I need to take this. And it was laughable. It was absolutely laughable.
Well, thank goodness you found radio.
I know.
Nat Tries That and the Natalie Jones Show, both here on The Crown. Nat Tries That premiered at 11 o'clock this morning. That's going to be once a week. We'll also have Natalie Jones Show interviewing people on the pod. Stick around. We've got more with Natalie Jones. Going to be doing a little flippy flip coming up.
Hello, and welcome back to the Working Lunch. I'm Natalie Jones, and here today, I am here with the one and only Jack Crumley.
Hello, nice to be here.
Jack Crumley, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm great. I am at an almost complete loss for words right now.
Really?
I think you look fantastic.
Thank you so
very
much.
professional. I think it's great.
Thank you so much. I dressed up as one of my favorite idols today, so happy to be here. Jack, I just wanted to know, let's start off here. What makes you feel beautiful?
What makes me feel beautiful? You know, the praise that comes from doing this show and the camaraderie that happens here. Everybody here at the Crown is very supportive. We're all really rooting each other on, and that has made me feel very pretty in the last few months.
Wow, well, I can tell you really are. You have a glow about you.
I feel glowy,
If
yeah.
you were a woman, I'd ask if you were pregnant, but I wouldn't offend you. Just saying. All right, so what score do you like bragging about more? Your SAT score or your credit score?
Oh boy, I don't even know what I.
I don't think I'm wrong here. You strike me as someone that has a very high number of both.
You know what? I actually didn't take the SAT. I took the ACT.
Really?
And I think that just seemed, because I knew I wanted to go probably to a school in Ohio.
Yeah.
And I remember like the guidance counselor at the time just saying, ACT is fine. Like if you're not trying to impress anybody from out of state, like ACT is all you need.
Dude, ACT was hard.
I was okay. I think I did like a 28.
The ACT.
Yeah.
Honestly, my ACT score is so low that
I can't believe I remember this.
I can't believe so either.
That was a lifetime ago.
Have you ever had your IQ score done before?
I don't think that's a real thing.
I think it is because I think it's yeah. I think you should get it done. I think that you'd be really impressed with yourself.
I see, but I don't think IQ is. Sorry, I don't think that's a real thing. I think that is just some sort of like intelligence I don't think can be gauged based on, and I don't know what's on the test, so maybe there is something to it, but being able to recall specific facts and figures and maybe do some math problems or whatever, I don't think is necessarily a way to, I don't think we figured out how to gauge intelligence.
Standardized testing, I don't think, is a good representation on health. I mean, on intelligence as well. But you, Jack, though, you do have a cerebral wit, though, I will say about you. You really do. And I want to know, you live in Cincinnati now. How long have you lived in Cincinnati?
I moved here in 2006. So it'll be 20 years this fall.
All right, so if you had a would you rather swim across the Ohio River or drink an Ohio River martini?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm going to be drinking a martini if I'm swimming across the water anay, right? You think that this is the sort of person that knows how to swim well?
Have you ever swam in the Ohio River?
No. No.
Just right around here before?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't fallen off of a boat. I'm certainly not going to jump into the water on purpose.
Let me tell you.
I'm going to get swept away.
I have a couple times before in my day, and I'm still alive. So I didn't even lose any of my jewelry that came off that day.
Well, I mean, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
It's
Is this going to be a naturalize that thing? You swimming in the water?
No, you know what? There was a triathlon happening in Cincinnati called the Queen City Triathlon. I did it last year, and I was going to do it this year. And fun fact, and we were supposed to swim like right in front of Serpentine Wall in the water. And morning of the race, they canceled the water part of it because like the Board of Health wouldn't let us get in the water.
Well, so because then it's not a triathlon. Because a triathlon is what? Biking and running and
Bike, run, swim.
And swimming.
So we just biked, ran, which was fine.
I suppose, but that's not a real triathlon.
I know, and you know what? I'm glad that that was it, and that I didn't have to actually do it, and I don't think I'm ever going to do one again.
I'm glad for you. That seems challenging.
All right, Jack. Moving on. You went to college, right?
I did.
And what did you study when you were in school?
I attended Bowling Green State University in beautiful Bowling Green, Ohio, and I was a telecommunications major with a focus in radio, and then I was a theater minor.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, then this next question wouldn't be all right, then I'll do to this.
Okay.
What advice do you have for a 6-year theater major that hasn't graduated yet, that is just about to join the workforce in 2026? What advice would you have?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, obviously follow your dreams is something that my heart wants to say, but also if you've been doing this for 6 years and you're still not out of school yet, maybe it's time to have a come to Jesus moment, right? I mean,
would you say you followed your dreams?
I did. I've always been I've been lucky enough to work in jobs that I have wanted to do. From starting off at a very small little radio station up in Northeast Ohio, WOBL in Oberlin. Shout out to Vietz and the guys. And then
radio.
I was in Toledo for a year and a half doing airborne traffic reports.
What does that? Did you get to ride in the helicopter?
It was a little airplane. It was a little Cessna, and I got to fly around about 1,000 feet over Toledo, Ohio, and do traffic reports. And then after about a year and a half of doing that, our parent company realized that spending money for an airborne traffic reporter in Toledo, Ohio might not be the best use of money.
Dude, that's so cool, though. I'm so glad that you got to be at the tail end of that and experience that.
It was great. I was able to move out of my parents' house and live in Toledo there because of the hazard pay that came with that job.
Wow.
So that was my fun little jaunt.
So when you met people during that time, especially like girls you went on dates with, do you remember what you would say when they asked you what you did for a living?
I don't recall there being a terribly large amount of dates at that time. If anything, I was probably a little bit self-conscious about what I was doing for a living. And
really? I mean, I would think if I was younger, I was bragging about that. I'd be like, oh, excuse me, I fly over the city, honey. I chase the storms. I'm driving right into the storms.
You know what? I didn't get comfortable with having a public job until much later. Hey, you're great. I'm being told in my ear that we've got like 60 seconds left here on the show.
Okay.
And we got to make sure we promote First Word with James Rapine tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
All right. Well, we got First Order James Rapine tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. That's it.
This is The Crown. Boy, there's all the programming we've got going on. Nat Tries That, Natalie Jones Show, The Rebound Rundown with Paul Fritchner. And again, make sure you come back tomorrow morning here on The Crowd for First Word with James Rapine. They've got all the topics and takes and all sorts of sports-related discussions that'll be lasting you from 7 a.m. until 11 a.m. Here's all the different ways you can watch us, by the way. CincyCrown.com is the website. We're on YouTube. You can check us out, 19.3 over the air. Ohio Spectrum 999, which I think is cool. I think we should win a little money prize. Hey, congratulations on your mustache for staying on the whole time.
Hey, I can't believe it stayed on the whole time.
She's Natalie Jones. My name is Jack Crumley. This is the Working Lunch.
Thank you
We'll
for
see you
having
tomorrow.
me.
Thank
for
you
having
very
me.
much.